I welcome you back again to this channel. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Before we proceed in today's class, if you are yet to subscribe, kindly do so. Tap the notification bell beside the subscribe button after pressing the subscribe button to get notified anytime a new video is posted on this channel. Thank you so much.
Before we proceed in today's lesson, I want to appreciate everyone for following this channel. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for learning on this channel. I want to enjoin you to please continue to share with your friends and family, continue to share with your loved ones, and let them also subscribe to this channel. Thank you and God bless you. Alright, today's lesson is Kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia is the kingdom to which all animals belong, whether small or big, thin or fat, primitive or advanced. All animals belong to this kingdom, Kingdom Animalia. And to this kingdom, there are 9 phyla of animal. Phylum is singular, phyla we have plural. There are 9 phyla in Kingdom Animalia. The first one is Phylum Porifera. We have Phylum Coelenterata, which is also known as Phylum Nidaria. We have the Platyhelminthes. We have Phylum Nematoda. We have Annelida. We have Arthropoda. We have Mollusca, Echinodermata, and finally we have Phylum Chordata. All of these make up the 9 phyla in Kingdom Animalia. The first 8 phyla, they are invertebrates, while the last one, which is the Chordata, is a vertebrate. Before animals are put into this phyla, there were some characteristics that were considered before animals were put into this phyla. Number 1, we have body design. Number 2, we have body symmetry. And lastly, we have body cavity. When we talk about body design, there are 2 groups or 2 types of body design. Number 1 is sac-like body design. The design that looks like a sac. If you have ever taken a look at a sac, you see that a sac has an opening. So animals with single opening, they possess sac-like body. This opening is the mouth, at the same time serve as the anus. It serves as mouth for ingestion of food and also the removal or the roots for removal of undigested food. Animals that are found in this group are the animals in the Phylum Porifera and Phylum Coelenterata. They have sac-like body design. Every other animal in the remaining 7 phyla, they have the second type of body design, and that is tubular body design, like a tube. A tube has 2 openings, one at the anterior end, and that serves as the mouth, and the other opening at the posterior end that serves as the anus. The mouth is for ingestion of food, while the opening at the posterior end serves for removal of undigested food. So animals from Phylum Platyhelminthes to Phylum Chordata, they possess tubular body design. I want to believe that you're getting along. Alright, now we move on to body symmetry. For body symmetry, we're talking about the cutting or division of an animal on its plane in order to obtain equal halves of the body. Meaning that if you cut an animal longitudinally, whether transversely or diagonally, are you able to get equal halves of its body? And that is what we mean by body symmetry. And we have 3 types of body symmetry. Type number 1, we call it asymmetry. Asymmetry or asymmetrical animals. Animals that cannot be cut in any plane to obtain equal halves of the body. Those are such animals, we said that they are asymmetrical, and we have such in Phylum Porifera. Animals in Phylum Porifera, they are asymmetrical, meaning that you cannot cut them in any plane to obtain equal halves of the body. Number 2, we have radial symmetry. Radial symmetry is found in animals that can be cut in different planes. You can cut it longitudinally, or maybe you cut them longitudinally and diagonally. You can obtain equal halves of the body. Such animal is said to be radially symmetrical, and we find such in phylum Coelenterata and phylum Echinodermata. They are radially symmetrical, meaning that you can cut them in more than one plane to obtain equal halves of the body. Example of animal that is radially symmetrical in phylum Cnidaria or phylum Coelenterata, we have the Oyewole, we have the jellyfish, we have the hydra, and so on. And phylum Echinodermata, we have the starfish, we have the sea urchins, we have the sea dollars, and so on. They are all radially symmetrical. Now we move on to the last one, the last body symmetry, and that is bilateral body symmetry. Bilateral body symmetry. This tells us that you can only cut the animal in a plane. If you cut it longitudinally, you cannot cut it in any other plane to obtain equal halves of the body. If it is transversely that you cut it, you cannot cut it in another way to obtain equal halves of the body. Animals in Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, some in Mollusca, and then Chordata, they are all bilaterally symmetrical. And we have body orientation. We have some terms to describe body orientation in animals that are bilaterally symmetrical. Anterior. Anterior is the upper part of the body where you usually have the head or where you have the mouth. And then the posterior is the rear end. The rear end where you usually have either the leg or you have the anus. And then we have the lateral view, and that is the side. Then we have the ventral, that is the beneath. And then we have the dorsal, and that is the back. Let's use this diagram to illustrate what we are talking about. The lateral, the side, the ventral beneath, the posterior, that's the rear end, and the front, we have the anterior view. So you may have a question, especially in the practical section of biology, that may ask you to draw a specimen and you'll be given a specific view to draw. You may be asked to draw the anterior view of specimen A. You may be asked to draw the posterior view, the anterior view, the lateral view, and the rest of them. So you have to understand this very, very well. We move on to the last criterion for classifying animals into phylum or into phyla, and that is body cavity. Body cavity is talking about the number of germ layers. If you cut animals transversely, then you look into the inside. How many layers of the body can you see? And that is what the germ layers are telling us. We have two body cavities. Number one, we have animals that are diploblastics. These are animals with two germ layers. They have the ectoderm and they have the endoderm. The ectoderm is the outer layer, the endoderm is the inner layer, and within the endoderm we have the gut, that is the digestive system. And animals in Porifera and animals in phylum Cnidaria, they are diploblastic animals. When we talk about examples of Porifera, we have the sponges. And for the Cnidaria, we have hydra, which is mostly the representative of the coelentrates. We have Oyewole, we have jellyfish, we have sea animal, and so on. Now for the second body cavity, We have triploblastic animals. Triploblastic animals. These are animals with 3 germ layers. Their body is composed of 3 germ layers. The outer layer or the outermost layer is called the ectoderm. Then we have mesoderm, which is the middle layer, and the inner layer we have the endoderm. And within the endoderm we have the gut. They have ectoderm, the last layer, the outermost layer, followed by the mesoderm, and then we have endoderm. And within the endoderm, we have the gut, that is the digestive system. Now, let's take a look at a very, very important situation here, and that is for these triploblastic animals are further grouped into 3, depending or based on the presence of a fluid within their mesoderm. This fluid is known as xylem. This xylem is a fluid that acts as a shock absorber. It gives room for enlargement or for biggerness of the body, and at the same time the fluid that bathes the internal organs. Animals that do not possess this xylem in their mesoderm, we call them acoelomates. We call them acoelomates. Example of this, the phylum that falls into this category is phylum Platyhelminthes. The animals in the phylum Platyhelminthes include the tapeworm, the flukeworm, and so on. They are all acoelomates, meaning that they do not have true body cavity because their mesoderm lacks xylem. Number 2, we have pseudocoelomates. Pseudocoelomate triploblastic animals are triploblastic animals that possess a layer within the mesoderm that's supposed to be filled with xylem, but it is not filled with xylem, rather a mass of solid tissue fills it. And pseudo means false, something that is not real, so they do not possess true body cavity. Example of animals with pseudocoelomates, we have the nematoda. The nematoda, the roundworms, they do not have true body cavity, or we say that they have false body cavity. And lastly, we have the coelomates. The coelomates are said to have true body cavity. They have true body cavity because within the mesoderm, there is a layer that is filled with xylem. And examples of this, starting from Annelida. All animals in Annelida, example, we have earthworm, arthropoda, we have the crab, the prawn, ants, scorpion, and the rest of them. We have the mollusca, example, we have the African giant land snail, the octopus, then we have echinodermata, talking about the starfish, sea urchins, and then we're talking about the chordata, whether fish, whether toad, lizard, bird, chicken, man, goat. We are all coelomate animals. We have true body cavity. I want to believe that you're not confused. Let me run through it again. Triploblastic animals are animals with 3 germ layers. They can be further categorized into 3. We have acoelomates, those that do not have true body cavity. Those are the Platyhelminthes. We have those that have false body cavity. We're talking about the nematodes. And then we have those that have true body cavity. And we're talking about all animals that are there in Annelida, arthropoda, mollusca, echinodermata, and chordata. Animals belonging to this phyla, they have true body cavity. Thank you for watching. Thank you for learning. Now, let me come in this way. For students that wants to sit for an examination, you may see a question that will require you to mention 3 characteristics of the phylum Arthropoda, or phylum Mollusca, or phylum Porifera. This is how what we are learning comes in. With what I've described so far, you can states about 3 or 4 characteristics. Let's take for example Platyhelminthes. It is very much correct to say that whether it is a vertebrate or invertebrate, you can state the body design that it has, whether it possesses 2 openings, one serves as mouth and the other one serving as the anus, or it has single opening that serves for ingestion of food and also for ingestion of undigested food. Number 3, you can tell us whether it is triploblastic or diploblastic, and then you can continue. If it is a triploblastic animal, you can explain further by saying whether it is acoelomate, pseudocoelomate, or coelomate. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for learning. Now we're going to take the phylum one after the other to see their characteristics, compare one with the other, and to see how they look. We're starting with phylum Porifera. Now we'll start with phylum Porifera. The characteristics. We're first going to take a look at the characteristics. Number 1 characteristic is that they are invertebrates. Number 2, they are asymmetrical, meaning that they cannot be cut in any plane to obtain equal halves of the body. They have single opening that serves as the mouth and also as the anus. Number 3 is that they are sessile, meaning that they are non-motile. They cannot move from one place to another. They are attached to rocks, and they are aquatic animals. They live in water. Another thing is that they are diploblastics. They have 2 body germ layers. Another thing is that they are capable of regeneration. What does it mean? It means that if any part of the body is cut off, they are able to regenerate. They are able to produce it again to cover up. And that is regeneration. They reproduce asexually by fragmentation, meaning that one of them can cut itself into several fragments, small portions, and each of the small portions will regenerate, will grow and become a whole organism. That is their asexual reproduction. They are hermaphrodites, meaning that an organism possesses both male and female sexual organs on a single organism. Another characteristic is that they live in colony. They live together. You can have 4, 5, even more than that of them. You have them live together in a place, whether attached to a rock or attached to shells. Examples of these, we have the sponges. You might have seen these in Nat Geo World or in oceanography. You see them, the divers move around them, or you see some fish pass through them. These are sponges. You can see how beautiful they are. They belong to phylum Porifera. We move on to the second phylum, and that is phylum Coelotrata. This phylum is also known as phylum Cnidaria. Let's first see their characteristics. Number 1, they are invertebrate animals. They are invertebrate animals. They are diploblastics. They have single opening that serves as the mouth and also as the anus. The digestion of their food occurs in enteron. They reproduce both sexually and asexually. Sexually by gamete fusion or fusion of gametes, and asexually by budding. When they want to reproduce asexually by budding, there will be an outgrowth from the side. It continues to develop, and when it gets mature, it detaches itself. It is cut off from the parent or the mother organism and starts to live independently, and that is by budding. They move by gliding or sliding or somersaulting. Not only that, they are diploblastic, or they are diploblastic animals. They are radially symmetrical. Do you remember the meaning of that? It means that they can be cut in more than one plane to obtain equal halves of the body. They have tentacles and stinging cells for capturing their prey. They have soft jelly-like body. And organisms in this phylum, they have 2 body structures. Number 1 structure is called the medusa, and the second one is the polyp. Coelotrates that are medusa, they have umbrella-like structure. That is, they look like umbrella. they have umbrella-like structure. Example of that is the jellyfish. So they look like umbrella. Number 2, the polyp. The polyp looks cylindrical. An example of that is the hydra, and we commonly have the sea animal. Other examples of animals in this Ceylon strata are Obelia, coral, and so on. Before we bring this lesson to a close, let me just summarize today's lesson. We're talking about kingdom Animalia, and we said that it is the kingdom of all animals, whether the animal is big or the animal is small, whether it is tiny or it is large. And then we have 9 phyla in this kingdom. We have the Porifera, we have the Ceylon strata, we have the Platyhelminthes, we have the Nematoda, we have the Annelida, we have Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, and then we have the phylum Chordata. Not only that, we said the first 8, they are invertebrates, meaning that they do not have the backbone, while the last one, phylum Chordata, have animals with the backbone. Not only that, we said that there are some criteria that are considered that lead to putting all these animals into this phylum or into this phyla. Number 1, we have the body design. We talked about the body symmetry, and finally we talked about body cavity. And talking about body design, animal can be tubular or sac-like. Talking about body symmetry, animal can be asymmetrical, bilaterally symmetrical, or radially symmetrical. And talking about body cavity, animal can have 2 germ layers, diploblastic or triploblastic 3 germ layers. And if an animal is triploblastic, it can either be acylomate, it can be either pseudocylomate, or it is coelomate. And then we moved on to establish that Porifera consists of animals that are invertebrate, that are sessile, they are aquatic, they are capable of regeneration, they are asymmetrical, they are diploblastics, and so on. And then we have sponges as an example of that. Then finally we talked about the Ceylon strata, animals that are also invertebrates, they are diploblastics, they have single opening, they ingest food through their mouth, and digestion occurs in the enteron, and through the mouth again they remove undigested food. They reproduce both sexually and asexually, and that brings us to a close of today's lesson. The lesson continues. Don't forget that we have 9 phyla. We have only dealt with 2. So we have 7 more phyla to discuss on this channel. Please don't miss the next class. And the only way you won't miss the next class is that you subscribe to this channel. Don't only watch, try to subscribe so that immediately a new video is uploaded, you will be informed and you can get along to learn and share also with your friends. Thank you very much for being a part of today's lesson. I want to see you in the next class. Until then, we're going to meet. Keep learning, keep studying, and keep loving biology.